Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm just going to do the click thing. You know, when you're a natural at all this tech stuff, well, I have a thing to tell you, and it's all part of my decision today that we're going to talk about milestones. Not big milestones, not like I turned 106, and not, I finally passed grade 3. It's not that, not that. I stayed in grade 3 to wait for my dad to catch up. Not that. I'm talking about the small ones that you suddenly realize are the big ones. And I thought this is an important thing to do because we forget the small ones. We really do. We've got our eyes set on something that is humongous, and we forget the very, very, I talk about it all the time, the simple wins. And what I think is really important is to give us a little blueprint, a little framework, how we remind ourselves of this. So I have a couple of things that I use. I use my, on a scale of 1 to 10, how's your day? Which is a great disruptor, because people who are in the middle of stuff, they say, what? Well, it was a 4 until about an hour ago, and now it's rocketed right up to a 5. Whatever, it gives us a chance to sort of take a fresh look at the compass, right? We're in a boat. We're on our way. It's not a highway with dotted lines on it with yellow signs on the side saying, what the hell do you think you're doing? It's an ocean, and we need a compass, and we need to remember why we got in the boat in the first place and where we think we're going and what we hope to do when we get there. These are all the things that we just take for granted because we do it all the time. Why do we brush our teeth in the morning? Every morning. Why do we do that? And why do we brush them again at night? What are we doing? Or is it just an auto habit, an autopilot habit? So these are milestones when you say, you know what, I planned ahead, and they were running low on my favorite toothpaste. And when I was in the last time, I thought, you know what, I'll get a second tube because they're on sale. And oh, look, that's a milestone. That's a thinking ahead that worked out. And we deserve to kind of do the atta girl and the atta boy, because we achieved something. And they're small wins, and they accumulate like grains of sand. They accumulate in your bathing suit, in your shoes. So when I said, since last Thursday, because I did a surprise video on Friday that I want to talk about, and I did another little teeny weeny one yesterday that I want to talk about. Thursday, though, was a milestone for me. And then I had an opportunity to talk about a couple of other milestones, and I realized that I had 2 or 3 that happened because of Thursday. So it was like a ripple effect. So before I get into it, cheers. Now, I realized that I was using a word wrong. The word girl, using a word wrong. I didn't suddenly have an epiphany. I saw it written in its correct context. And I thought, oh, and then I thought, oh, and a whole bunch of other little O's followed it. So on social media, there was a silly meme from Star Trek. And somebody had commented about the captain's log. And they said, captain's log is not the same as a ship's manifest. It's something funny. And I thought, wait a minute, a manifest is a checklist. A manifest is what the person who's offloading the stuff from the dock says, 3 of these, 2 of those, when Noah built the ark, 2 of these, 2 of those, what is that? So you know what you got. And you can also use it A manifest is the list of tasks, the way you're going to, restructure them, and if this happens the way we're hoping it happens, then this will be the next thing. That's a manifest. That's a manifest. You can look it up. So the conversation people are having about manifesting, they're thinking that if I do this and I hold my breath and I turn around 3 times and spit in the bucket and scrunch my eyes up really, really hard, I will have a pony. That's not that's not manifesting. It is not. That is wishful thinking. It's not manifesting. Manifesting is literally reorganizing the list, prioritizing what you want. And if you put the thing you want the most at the top of the list, the likelihood that you're going to achieve it is greater than if you leave it at number 47 out of 902. So all the things that we can have on our list, if we put the one we really focus on at the top of the list, it's the thing we see every day. It's the thing we remind ourselves about every day. And in the language that is very popular right now, if we are focusing and we are sending out our little waves, all the little friendly waves are waving back. And the next thing you know, it's technical term is cognitive bias. Thinking a thing more, focusing on it more. If I decide I want to buy a yellow car, all of a sudden every third car I see on the road is a yellow car. Well, the fact is, there were always every third car was a yellow car. I just didn't notice. I didn't have a thinking bias toward that. But now that I'm focused on it, every time I turn around, bing, yellow car. Oh, every time I turn around, bing. I didn't pull yellow cars out of a hat. I prioritized it. I thought about it. I made it my focus. And gradually, good morning, good morning. There's a word for that. Yes, there is. Good morning, Eddie. Cognitive bias. Yes. We think it and we think it and think it and think it. And all of a sudden, it's all we're thinking. Because by the way, it's what we're thinking. It's part 2 of, I put a map up on Facebook at the beginning of this. And as you are here, the idea is I've got to get away. I've got to get away. Yeah, but everywhere you go, there you are. So if you've got a problem, you're taking it with you. If you have a problem, you're taking it with you, unless you choose to let go of the problem and focus on the other thing. Focus on the other thing, and the other thing is what you take with you. If you decide you test drove a yellow car and you didn't like it, and then you saw a copper car, all of a sudden, good luck to you, they're not that many. But all of a sudden you say, good heavens, I didn't realize, oh my God, there's another one. Cognitive bias. So I understood that what people think they are doing is not what they are doing. I understood. That was my first big yes that happened between last Thursday and today. My second huge yes happened yesterday when I was having a conversation and I realized something I've been talking about a long time, something that a lot of the mental health professionals are talking about, a lot of people who are coping with dealing with low expectations, low affect, low interest, ho-hum, indifference, people only phoning it in instead of really showing up and leaning in. Okay, that's called functional freeze. Functional freeze is the freeze and hide portion of I got to stay very still until I can figure out what I'm supposed to do, except that I can't resist just doing these 3 things. So I'm not resting. I'm not recharging. I'm constantly depleting my battery. My battery won't hold a charge. Well, it's because you keep using the damn thing. Put it down. Allow yourself to freeze, heal. Allow yourself to breathe. And then I realized, aha, we can't stop ourselves from just doing one more thing. That's that whole multitasking thing. We are trying to multitask our way through survival. We're trying to multitask our way through healing. It doesn't work. Eddie and I were having a conversation. Good morning, Freddie. We were having a conversation about multitasking. And I said, if you are brilliant at a thing, and every time you show up and do it, you give 100% and you get 100%. Okay, perfect, good for you. If you try to do two things and you're good at both, but you're trying to do both at the same time, you can't give 100% to one and 100% to the other, because that's 200% and you only have 100%. Therefore, you're giving each of them 50%. So you're not giving your best. You're not giving 100%. And you're so busy doing two of them, you don't notice that you're only receiving back the equivalent result. And if you're trying to juggle 4 things or 6 things or 8 things or 37 things, you still only have 100%, and you're still only going to get that fraction of your 100%, the equivalent of everything you're trying to do simultaneously. How's that whole healing thing working for you? Not so much. Oh, really? So multitasking and our urge, thinking we can, oh, I got this, I'm not, that's getting in our way. That was my second big yes. Oh my gosh. Now, the third one, hugification, was one of the things that I love to do. And I haven't had a chance to do them enough, and I'm going to start doing more of them as we move forward with Pivotry. So I love doing panel discussions. I love getting an audience involved. Not a TED Talk where you sit there on hard chairs and wish you were dead and me standing there, but an interaction, a conversation. A conversation between people who care about the same subject means that it's not a talk, it's a mastermind. It's a coming together of ideas from different perspectives. All of us focused on a very similar outcome, the best for this thing that we share an interest in. So that is my ideal way of doing talks, highly interactive. And the aha was, we actually have randomly chosen people from the group joining me on the panel. Their interest, their concern, their story is every bit as valid as mine. Their perspective is every bit as valid as mine. So instead of one person shining a light to clear up the confusion, with all of us together, it's an umbrella effect. I'll hold the handle. I'll be one of the speakers. And every time it'll be a different collection of people with insights. So we have a conversation that is not just thee and me, it's all of us. And if every time we just handpick 2 or 3 and say, come on, let's do this, let's see it, let's see what happens. We have a moderator to keep everything in line. And I'm going to call them umbrella talks. Umbrella talks bring us all together to come up with a solution. That was the third thing. And I thought, all right, you know what? Though that's a trifecta. You never have a day like that. So I was saying to myself, you know what? I'm going to talk about my best yes since Thursday is a trifecta. And then I did something. I just kind of went to check to see how many people had a look at my little 5-minute video that I spontaneously did on Friday, just to see. And you know what? It had 1,000 views. It had 1,000 views. Typically, my videos are this lovely, close collection of you. I did a 4-minute and something or other with no warning. Well, a little bit of warning the night before, a little bit of a teaser right before that. but I think I know how I tripped the magic wire. I think I know how, and I'm going to test it again to be sure. And I think I see the how. And this is what I wanted to talk about in giving us an opportunity to say what was my best yes since Thursday. This is not a competition. We're not in competition with anybody else. We're not even in competition with us. And it's not, I didn't have a good, yes, you did. Yes, you did. If the very least best yes was that I felt pretty good when I woke up, that the coffee was hot, that the milk hadn't turned. If that's your best yes, it's a great yes. It's a brilliant yes, because we have all taken a sip of coffee and discovered A, that whatever we put in it had joined the other side, or B, we put the wrong thing in it. Has anybody but me, other than me, accidentally poured orange juice in their coffee? What a moment in time that is. Not my best yes. Although my best yes is, yes, let's not do that again. Let's move the juice over here. So I have a challenge for me, and I'm not setting it as a challenge for you. I'm telling you that I'm setting a challenge for me. And the challenge for me this week is to pay attention to the small moments where we get a little glimmer. There's a little glimmer. There's a little frisson, is a wonderful word in French. A little frisson. I love that word. A little glimmer that something good is in motion. Something. Don't hold your breath. You don't say, oh, I wonder what is good. When someday my prince will come. It's not that. It's something. Something is cool. And maybe I'll know what it is today, and maybe I won't. But just recognizing that you felt it, kind of saw it, heard it, that's the win. That's the best yes so far. So when I talk to people about the later folder, and I say, you know why they're important, and I mean, I haven't figured out how yet to put these on a website, but we will. Mostly, I want to give them out at events. I want people to be able to take them away and write down their thoughts. The whole idea of a later folder, the whole idea of a way. This is not my later folder. This is my in the moment folder. And I'm constantly jotting down notes when things occur to me so that I don't forget them, so that I look and think, oh, that's right, because stuff, right? What we want to do is recognize the unhelpful habits we have acquired. We don't pay attention to them. We don't think they make a difference. We don't correct them because A, we're busy. B, they just happen. And C, we don't connect the dots. I want us collectively, separately, together, to start thinking about a progress report. Many years ago, I was coaching a girl who wanted to be a public speaker. And she had 3 verbal tics. They were like, you know. And she began every sentence with them. And I said, you're stalling. I had a client who wanted to write things, wanted to become somebody who could post things and blog things. Every single thing they wrote, the first 2 sentences, were of no use at all. They were the same tic as the girl. Like, you know, it's a stalling tactic. It's a getting up your nerve. It's a verbal taking a deep breath. It's a readying backstage, shaking your hands and getting yourself ready. Okay. The audience doesn't need to see that. And your listeners don't need to hear that. And your readers don't need to slog their way through that. That's our self-starting prep work that we do backstage, off the page, out of sight, out of earshot. And as we keep telling ourselves, use your inside voice. Start with sentence number 3. Whatever you wrote, start with sentence number 3. Just automatically draw a line through the first 2. Start with sentence number 3. And what I was teaching these people was to focus on the good habit. Focus on the good habit. The good habit is take ownership. The good habit is remember who this is for. All my author clients, I tell them over and over and over again. And the ones who already know, they're kind of, yeah, they know. Okay, we write 2 books. The first one we write for ourselves because it's our passion piece. Get it out of our heart and our head and onto the page. Good. That's not the one you sell. The one you sell is the one, you done? Good. Now let's fix it so other people will care. And we get rid of all of the self-indulgent, warm up, getting ready, taking the breath, shaking out my hands stuff. And we get to the meat or the vegetables on the plate rather than the napkin and the salt and pepper and get to the point of the thing. So this idea of what is your best yes since pick a day. I picked Thursday because it was the last time we had one of our regular videos, right? What was your best yes? Because I know you had a bunch of them. But what's the big one? You see, I thought I had a trifecta, and then I realized, wait a second, that 100 people is pretty cool too. Maybe that's the umbrella. Maybe that's the umbrella of the whole thing. So what I wanted to share with you today is this. We get gooder at the good stuff by repeating it. We get gooder at the good stuff when we let go of the unhelpful stuff. When we stop talking about the unhelpful stuff. Did it happen? Yes. Good. Shut up. Did it happen? Yes. Shut up. It's over. Gone. Do you not want to focus on the fun stuff? Well, yes, but what? Well, what? You're stalling. You're stalling. Why are you stalling? Why are you withholding from yourself the good stuff? What are you doing? Delayed gratification? I don't think so. I don't think so. In this world of instant gratification, I don't think so. So here's the plan, my lovelies. The reason I'm excited about 1,000 people checking in is because we have hit a milestone of some kind. I think I also added a step. I'm going to check. If I'm correct, I'll discuss it. If that's the case, I am still the one driving my bus, right? I am still the one saying, this is my manifest list. This is my number 1. This is the goal. My goal? Needing to build more boats. That's my goal. Having boats full. Everyone with their oar, leaning in, excited for the journey to more, better. Not do more, be more. Live more. respect more, recognize more, feel gratitude for. That's the goal for me. And when I saw 1,000 people, I said, that almost looks like another boat. That almost looks like another boat. How exciting is that? So for next time, for Thursday, what I would love to see from you in your comments when you join me is a recognition that there is something that is getting better and better and better, and you had kind of noticed, but you hadn't really paid attention. If the flowers in your garden are growing bigger, congratulate them. You know the way people talk to a pet? Look at you. Do that with the flowers. They can hear you. Look at you. When you manage to step over, I almost tripped on the little ledge going from my bedroom into the bathroom this morning. Almost. I caught the toe of my slipper, and I thought, oh, no, you don't. I was really paying attention, and I felt it. And I thought, sneaky, 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 sneaky. And I felt very good about the fact that I was paying attention to what I'm doing in the moment. That's a really big win. That's one of my best yeses. Paying attention in the moment. Avoiding that trip to the doorway. So I'm already good at that. I don't need to practice that. I'm ready to get gooder at not tripping through doorways. So with that said, we are your best win is this cold isn't COVID. How about this, Eddie? My best win is I am healthier than many, and I am grateful. I am managing this well, and I am grateful. Eddie, owning whatever. Flip it. So the conversation about Pivotry in motion is this. I have a tech person and I are both having interesting issues with the website, which is, comfort in numbers. However, we are seeing lights at the end of the tunnel, and they are not emergency rescue vehicles. Okay. So when the website is ready, and I'll be all excited and say, okay, you have to look and you have to tell me what you think and you have to blah, blah, blah. It's coming along. All the other little pieces of things are coming along. They're all coming along. What Pivotry in Motion is about, what it is for, what its purpose is recognizing that we are born with the ability to reset for success. We have the capability. We are exceptionally good at it. That we aren't aware is a learning curve. And so the project that I'm working on for us, that I'm working on for me, and I'm working on for everybody is this: how to recognize this best yes that we own. How to say, oh, look at that. How to shift the cognitive bias. And why isn't it working to? We got this. How we do that is a process of discussion, of getting together, of masterminding, of noticing things that we do that aren't helpful, and choosing to celebrate the things we do that are helpful. reset for success, shift the cognitive bias, own the moment. This is the process. And I'm going to own the moment with the website probably by the end of this week. It's only been a while. So between now and Thursday, two things. Above, be good to you before the marching orders. Two things. One is, if you didn't have time, take a moment. List all the things that went well. Choose the one that's your best yes since last Thursday. Let me know. How am I going to build panels of people to have these mastermind conversations if we don't start now? Consider it a rehearsal. Okay, that's the first thing. And the second thing is, even the rough patches give us an opportunity to see how and where and with which tools we rise to meet the challenge. Yes, that happened. And what did we do? And what happened next? And which part of that was our best yes? We don't have to order superhero capes. We get to look at something that was a challenge, and we get to look to see how we feel about it now. Best yes progress report. That's the new thing. That's the added layer to the later folder. Best yes progress report. Captain's log. All right. So those are the two. That's the homework. So between now and Thursday, be good to you. You deserve it. Remember to hug your loved ones. They deserve it too. So 1,000 people on Friday, almost 600 on Thursday, 200 yesterday with no warning. I can't wait to see what happens by the end of this week. Can you? Let your friends know. There's always room in the boat because there's always more boats. All right? Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time, okay?